So what I normally say is, as you know, I don't know how to start the podcast yet. So it'll either be whatever we keep from that or something along the lines of, and then I go into my spiel, which is important to know because otherwise the joke won't make sense. So I'll say, as you know, I don't know how to start the podcast. So it'll either be whatever we keep from that or something along the lines of, jellicle cats come out tonight. Jellicle cats come one, come all, etc. Or something along the lines of, welcome late to the movies. My name is Ben Holt, and this is a podcast where my friends and I get to fill in our movie blind spots. Each week, we'll pick a film that either I or a guest hadn't seen before and really should have gone to the Heaviside Lair by now. This week, kicking off Catshog Month, a very self-explanatory month that needs no further explanation, but just in case, every week is going to be an episode on Cats, the 2019 film that may or may have not caused a global pandemic, from one-time director Tom Hooper, now I guess a trash man somewhere, who knows.
Thank you for having us.
Our guests this week to kick off Catshog Month, Josh is here.
Hello.
And Mimi's here.
So excited for this.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this one too. It's the vibe is wild. So this is actually breaking a streak of about 3 years. The first episode ever on this podcast was the only time that and then I and the guests watched the movie and then recorded directly afterwards, decided that's a lot of time to commit to one thing in one night. So let's not do that. People have been watching on their own and then like coming together just to talk about it later. Until tonight, where we just finished watching the film Cats 2019. Neither of you had seen it before. But before we get into that, normally at this point, I'd ask if you've seen anything good lately. But since it's your first times on, I'm curious what your relationship is with watching movies. If it's a thing you do all the time, every now and then, if this is the first movie you've ever seen, I hope not.
I don't watch a lot of films. I'm more of a TV show person, but I feel like ever since I started living with you, I've felt challenged to watch more.
Appreciate that.
So I'm doing my best, but I have miles to go.
Any longtime favorite movies?
Like since Forrest Gump.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to watch that every day as a 2-year-old at my grandmother's house.
Okay.
And Babe.
All right.
Those were the two that I had in rotation for a year and a half of.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a weird.
It's an interesting mix. But Forrest Gump is Greg's favorite movie. So there you go.
Oh, that's really tender.
Yeah.
That's really good. That's an honor.
Yeah. Which it's weird because he doesn't like running himself.
I mean, I don't think I do either, but
I guess there's other things that could appeal to you. Have you ever been to a Bubba Gum Shrimp?
Yes.
Okay. Thoughts?
It's cute. The pink lemonade is great.
Okay.
I went a lot as a child when I was not on the road, but like when I was on vacation and we were going to like Disney World or Las Vegas or, places with camp.
Yeah. Times Square.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It's cute. It's like, yes, I'll end there.
Okay. Mimi, have you ever seen a movie before?
I have.
Okay, good. This would be a rough start otherwise.
Yeah, I have. I'm not a big avid moviegoer, but I have seen a few. I'm more of a live musical theater fan, so it's amazing I haven't seen this film before today.
You're sort of picking at why this pairing made so much sense for the first episode of Catshog Month. We'll get to that. First off, though, the normal question at this point would have been, have you seen anything good lately? And with that definition's always been pretty broad. It can be TV, it can be books, it can be movies, etc.
I have just started Twin Peaks, which I am hoping that it will get good, but I am currently not there yet. I'm on I have completed episode 2. I also just finished a show called What We Do in the Shadows, which is like Taika Waititi, Jermaine Clement. Mm-hmm. Yep. It was good. I enjoyed it.
The show or the movie?
the show,
Okay,
not the
gotcha.
movie. I don't think I would.
Movie's
I don't
good.
think- but it's a little too. Yes, I'm sure it's good.
It's more New Zealandy.
But it's like also bro-y. Like it's like frat bro vampires, right? That's
I mean, it's very similar in tone.
okay.
Because it's the same.
Okay.
It's the same creative team.
Cute.
Um,
No, I have not seen the film.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah. Cool.
Um,
Well, you've seen some movies lately.
Yes, I wouldn't say I've enjoyed them as of late.
Interesting.
More misses than hits with the Best Picture noms this year for me.
Yeah, but as you said, you're a lover of musical theater. This was the third musical that we've watched together in the last 10 days.
Whoa.
The shortest one, I think.
Yes, the shortest of the three.
Yeah, because we've been knocking out some Best Picture nominees. So you also saw Wicked, which is an hour longer than this. Amelia Perez, it's about 5 to 10 minutes longer than this.
Yep.
It's technically a musical. I keep thinking that it isn't, but yes.
It is.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. But more misses than hits.
More misses than
Okay.
hits.
Heard. All right. Well, at this point, we usually say what our previous relationship is with the material. I think this is a good place to get into. I've seen this movie 3 times, but have never worked in musical theater or in professional productions at all. How about y'all?
So I actually watched the original Broadway video of this show many times growing up. So I'm quite familiar with the actual material for this movie.
Okay.
I am not. I have never seen Cats. I happen to have worked for a brief stint in Broadway touring theater. And so I think my career has been closer to Cats than I would like it to be. But I have not had any history with the material. So seeing this film was the first time I ever experienced anything related to Cats. But I did not see the Jellicle Ball in New York this summer at the Perelman, which I should see. And now I really want to, we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there.
I did have a dance recital routine to a Cat song when I was 10.
Which one?
Yeah.
Not the Taylor Swift one.
No, not the Taylor Swift one. And it wasn't McCavity. I'm trying to remember. It was a duet moment. So it might have been Mungo Jerry and Rumble Teaser.
Yes.
Yikes.
Rumble Teaser. These names.
Yeah,
We'll get there.
we'll get there. Before we get fully into the movie, because I know we're just champing at the James Corden trash can to get to it. At this point, and I didn't tell you this in advance, maybe it's a fun surprise for one of you. Would either of you like to give us a brief 1-minute plot summary of the film Cats? I do know one of you took notes.
I only took bullet pointed notes through about 2/3 of the movie. Would it be better just to read those as
Sure.
is?
Yeah, it'll be chronological that way.
Actually, it's about through 1/3 of the movie.
It won't make any more sense otherwise.
Ballet ? Is there a plot ? I feel so unsettled watching this movie. It makes me squirm. I do want to see the Vogue version so bad. New York Jellicle Ball. Sometimes the cats feel like they're 10 feet tall, and at other times I feel like they're 10 inches tall. Cheap laughs. That's it.
Yeah, yeah. For a Tony production, a lot of cats getting hit in the nuts.
It's just stupid. It's just
pretty dumb.
Stupid. Yeah, I it makes me question who it's for, right? And so I think
Sure.
is it for families? Is it for musical theater lovers? Is it for adults? I don't know. And I'm curious if these moments of humor are also in the Broadway show.
I would say the question of who it's for is sort of intrinsic to the whole Cats thing.
I think it's for cat people.
Oh my God.
Because the appeal of Cats as a as a one-time, record holding longest running show ever, was sort of like, who is this for? But it was for everyone for some reason. Is that fair to say?
Podcasts are a visual medium, and at this moment, Mimi and I are looking at each other and sighing.
To get us sort of into the right mindset, I can tell an anecdote.
Yeah, thank you.
In the 90s, when Cats was touring, one of their tours, I suppose, and we're going to PPAC, the audience they decided for that would be children, and they promoted heavily on local TV to the extent that my sister and I really, really wanted to go see Cats and made our mom bring us. She had season tickets to PPAC, but not for all of us, just her and her friends. And then, like, if someone couldn't go, they'd rotate the kids in. But we made her get like extra, more tickets, and we all went to see Cats. And apparently I'm not young. I'm not old enough, but I am old enough. I was too young to now still remember this occasion. The reason I know this anecdote super well is because my mom brings it up all the time. We hated it. And she was like, no, we have to stay. You begged me to come here. And it was not inexpensive.
I bought more tickets for you.
Yeah. Yes. He's like, no, we're staying. I know you hate this, but you have to understand that actions have consequences.
Back to your mom.
Yeah. My sister and I we just don't like crowd work, and they're just out there.
So my mom also took me to see that at PPAC, and I cried my way through the opening number because they all crawl through the aisles and they like interact with people, and that was terrifying for, I don't know, like 5-year-old me. And I cried, and then just like until I fell asleep in my mom's lap through the rest of the show.
Oddly enough, this is sort of your experience watching the film tonight.
Yes. Yeah.
That was good. That was good.
Thank you. That said, the movie is a bad version of a musical that on paper I don't think is good.
Yes.
That's nice. Fair. Yes, that's really sweet of you.
But I don't think this film adaptation is doing it any favors.
No.
I think it's dragging it down a little bit, despite the Academy Award nominees, winners, and other accomplished performers in the cast of this one.
Yeah, it's heavy hitters.
It's heavy hitters. Directed by Tom Hooper, who was, it feels like a sort of a culmination of like, I don't know, whatever his thing is, he keeps winning, whatever. His 3 movies before this, The King's Speech wins a bunch of Oscars, Les Mis wins a bunch of Oscars, Danish Girl wins a couple Oscars, and then this. And I guess they're like, well, he made Les Mis work. Give him Cats.
He done anything else since?
He has not. This came out in late 2019, as I alluded to, was a lot of people's final film that they saw in theaters before COVID. Yeah. So from a stage production standpoint, what did you think of the technical qualities of the 2019 film Cats?
They needed to commit to human hands and feet or no human hands and feet. The continuity in there was a little bit much. Just all they either had human hands or human feet, but it was never all of the above.
Yes.
And like fur cut off at the wrist. They could have done fingerless gloves with fur. They could have just not done CGI and just put them in fur onesies like they do on Broadway. And that would have probably looked fine
with. But because, I was like, these cats are on 2 legs. Yeah.
Yeah. But also like we've got Grisabella crawling, and then she walks at the end of the movie when she's supposed to be closer to death.
Oh, woof. Yes. But you were talking about the dancing earlier.
Yeah, I think continuity wise, the choreography translated well and was on par with what we saw when the show opened.
Like the staged version.
Yes.
I, on the other hand, did not enjoy the choreography. I mean, I don't have anything to refer back to, obviously, but it was like heavy on the ballet. Mm-hmm. I just thought at some points it just wasn't needed and extraneous at a lot of parts. And I feel like the same story could have been told without the movement. But that's just me. But I'm not really a classic traditional choreography kind of person, and I think you might be. No. I just think that's a difference in
100%. Yeah. I think it didn't distract from the story. It might not have added to it, but it didn't, in my opinion,
that's a good point. Yes.
Such as it was the story, that is. I would also note that I mentioned to you early in the movie, I forgot how much the camera is just zipping around and like it's like filmed like a Jason Bourne movie.
And that doesn't do choreography any favors.
No. It's just cutting all the time. You can't see what's happening. It's a thing in movie musicals. Do you hold it wide so you can see what's happening, but then is it boring, or are you doing like cuts to like add to the impact?
Well,
this is just constantly moving and shaking.
For example, the tap number where they just cut to someone's face and you hear the tap, but you don't see the tap.
And I couldn't even see the like Skimble Shanks.
The railway cat.
Yes, the railway cat. I could never really see his face long enough to focus on, was that a celebrity or was it not a celebrity?
That is a fun game in this movie. You got to make your own fun.
Yes, you really do. I mean, but that number was the best.
Agreed.
Right? Like,
I will say the choreography did make it easy to play the game. Is that a trained dancer or not?
Yes, that is true. And he was the only cat wearing pants.
And boots.
Oh,
dude.
Except when he wasn't, because he had human feet.
Yeah, he did have human feet, but for his big number where they had to have a lot of close-ups of his feet.
He did have tap shoes on, yes.
And long pants.
Like high-waisted with suspenders. Like Mickey Mouse.
Like you would.
Right, they weren't overalls. They were just very high-waisted with suspenders.
Yeah, like you would wear on a railway.
Right, with no shirt.
Well, because you have fur. You don't need a shirt.
You don't need pants.
That was good. You ate that.
Speaking of the trained dancers versus non, the movie version of Cats that we watched revolves around Victoria, who I don't know if she ever gets her second and third name, but is Francesca Hayward, who is a actual ballet dancer, and this was, I believe, her first movie role. She gets like the and introducing in the credits. I don't know if it really catapulted her to greater success, but she at least, did she seem to you? Did she read as a trained dancer?
She did.
She did. I mean, there were a lot of solos for her.
Yeah.
Yes.
The lines were there. I felt she was good.
Yeah.
I didn't care for her vocals.
They weren't good.
I don't think the music did her any justice. It was not a good song.
Right. But you cast based on technical ability or dance ability, and you just cross your fingers that they have a voice. Yeah. And with the second in command cat being Robbie Fairchild, I wonder if she's like a New York City ballet dancer and just, he's like, hey, anyway, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, there is sort of like a just because we just watched Conclave, it's like the dean of the College of Jellicle Cats played by Robbie Fairchild. Oh my god! Like he's not in the running, but he's sort of making sure the whole competition stays on the rails.
Yeah. Like MC.
Yeah. Like old Deuteronomy isn't really doing too much of the logistics.
Correct.
Yeah, she's just sort of vibes based. Like, I'll make a call when it's time to make a call.
I kind of love that her name is Old Deuteronomy.
Yeah. Traditionally played by a male actor, I believe. Mm-hmm. But whatever.
It's fair. I mean, I shrieked when I
you did. This is true.
When I saw that it was Dame Judi Dench.
Dame Judi Dench.
Congrats. The thing I continue to say is like, we all have bills to pay. And some of these people do have second and third homes. And so they have to keep the lights on.
That's right.
I am proud of their hustle.
Yeah. Smash cut to Ian McKellen going meow, meow, meow.
And drinking milk from a bowl.
And drinking milk direct from a bowl.
Yeah. Whoa. Yeah, I mean, I think early on I was like, does this have a plot? Like, are we going anywhere with this? And you were like, yes.
Yeah.
It goes somewhere.
it's. I laughed when you asked because you're like, or is it just sort of cats being like, here's my thing?
Right. Yeah.
There's a great. Paul F. Tompkins is a comedian. He's often on the podcast Comedy Bang Bang, where it's like improv based. They play a character. He does a great Andrew Lloyd Webber character that he has a long running thing. And there's a great bit he does explaining the plot of Cats. I'm not going to try and mimic his impression of Andrew Lloyd Webber, which is just like generally British. But he's like, yeah, a cat stands up on stage, says, here's my thing, and then fucks off.
Yes,
or and that's pretty much how
or
the
turns
show
to
works.
Dust, or is transported to
a barge.
Yeah, on the river Thames, right?
Yeah.
You can't do that. Yeah, it's. I think the McCavity kidnapping people so he can win is added for the movie as well.
Yes,
Okay.
that's not.
I think the show is purely a cat stands up and goes, "Here's all my things,
Oh my god!
and I'll see you later."
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, thank you for that.
no problem.
I
Based on unpublished poetry by T.S. Eliot.
Oh God. And the fact that Jennifer Hudson just ascends on a blimp balloon.
Yeah,
Hot air balloon?
we were discussing this. It's a big tire on stage because they're in like a junkyard.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and it looks like a spaceship, and that's fun. But this is like some kind of chandelier that's magicked up.
Mm-hmm.
It feels very like Midsommar, very like ritualistic in a way that like, well, they know she's dying. Oh, that's the plot. They're competing. It's a talent show, and whoever has the best soul gets to die and be reborn into the life they deserve or want or something. It's not really super defined, but and you have to be a jellicle to be eligible. Also not very defined. They talk a lot about what it means to be a jellicle cat, but not really like, but here's who is a jellicle cat.
Right. Yeah, that's the other thing is I didn't realize that there was like real definition to the status.
I don't know that it provides real definition, but it's sort of like
It's assumed.
You know it when you see it.
I mean, I think the word jellicle is fierce. Like I think that like if you are a jellicle, like real recognizes real. Like there's something powerful about that.
Yeah.
That I really live for.
They're all on board. And it seems like membership is pretty much lifelong because like obviously they're not a fan of McCavity, but he is participating in the competition.
Yes.
And I don't know. Grisabella also doesn't have to go through like a registration process to compete
She's
towards
not
the end of
hazed
the right. Yeah. Yeah, like they don't want her there, but like, no, she's allowed.
Is there a deeper lesson that we're supposed to take from this? Like I'm waiting for like
Judi Dench told you cats are not dogs.
Thank you for that. That was really powerful. I wanted there to be some depth to this plot, but I really don't think there is. And then at some points I was like, is there something really queer about this? Like, you know, like not in a like shady way, but just like, is there some kind of like
allegory?
Yeah. Like something about this feels really,
so
like, I can't complete the thought, but I'm just curious.
There's a famous quote, Andrew Lloyd Webber in making this come together. I'll find out exactly who he said it to, but he basically just said, it's about cats.
Thank you.
Yep. Because I think somebody else in the development of the show was like, hey, what is the deeper meaning here? And he said, there's not. It's this one's cats. Yep.
I have nothing else to add. I want there to be more, but it's really unfortunate that there isn't.
What did you think of how all the cats looked? Because for me, this is a situation where, like, if you say a word enough times, you start to does that even what that word is that how it's pronounced? Is that the right emphasis on the right syllable? You know what I mean? And watching this movie, like I had to look up pictures of cats to remember what cats are supposed to look like proportionally. Yeah. And like, are their ears in the middle of the top of their heads, or are they where ears go? They're more supposed to be where ears go. Do they use their tails like prehensile monkeys to just indicate and to grab things? Yeah, it's weird. They have very human hands, especially Judi Dench, who's wearing a wedding ring.
Right.
And Judi Dench has no makeup on her face. Like nothing about her face is in character.
No, basically like eyeline down is just no touch up to make it look like a lot of people, they don't put hair on their face. Some of them do. The rules are unclear. But they at least change the tone of their skin
to match their fur.
Yeah, and it's just Judi Dench.
I wonder if that's a contract thing. I really do wonder if like
I don't know.
Like,
that's a good point.
You know, like you can't manipulate my face in any way.
Yeah.
Or I say this with love, like I am too old for you to manipulate my face in any way, or I don't know.
Yeah, she didn't want them to. Maybe she was worried they'd touch it up and make her look, not like as old as she is, but she thought that was important to the character.
And did they film together? Like, I want to know, like, was everyone in the room for this, or were there moments when she was alone? And I have questions about that.
There's questions. I think there's long stretches where a lot of the characters are completely CGI. I believe. I was picking up on the final scene. It feels like the only actors present are the like Judi Dench, Francesca Hayward. I forgot the actor's name, but main cat keeping things on.
Oh, Robbie Fairchild,
and Mr. Mistopheles.
Oh yes,
it feels like they're there, but then when they show the other cats dancing, it's in like a very wide shot, and it's the kind of floaty CGI movement. That
it's like a little bit GTA, right? Like it's like
pretty, yes. It feels a little uncanny valley just in like, okay, I can tell that isn't a human being recorded doing those motions. But this film infamously, I guess, has an extremely tortured production and a lot of changes at the last minute. You'll notice that people aren't in makeup. They have a fully CGI animated layer on top of them, which supposedly there are multiple cuts of the film that have different attributes included or not. It just seems like it was a nightmare for any of the CGI artists that worked on it. And then there was, I forget if it was the Golden Globes, wherever, that James Corden and Rebel Wilson did an award presentation in costume, kind of, and like made fun of how bad it was, and it was like fuck y'all.
Those were my least favorite cats.
Yeah, they're terrible.
Like
they should be thrown in the River Thames.
The River Thames. Correct.
Yeah.
I think more than what they looked like, it bothered me how inconsistent their movement was.
Yes.
Like
the movement is
so like
weird.
They went to cat school, right? But in every other scene, some of them are standing.
You can't just say that like it's a thing.
It totally was.
It is a thing, but in case people don't know,
they don't need to know.
They went to cat school.
Oh my God.
I don't mean to step on your point, but it's not worth just being like, yes, we all know they went to cat school. It's a real thing that these human actors had to do. To what end? Anyway, yeah, the movement's weird. I'm sorry. Keep talking.
Like in some scenes, they walk with their heels first, like humans do, and then in some scenes, they don't put their heels down at all. But it's never the same.
Yes.
Sometimes they're crawling.
Sometimes they're crawling. I will say the choreography did lend itself to the fluid movement of a cat more than them going to cat
both
school.
of them.
I feel like there's a lot
Just
of like
overall.
I also feel like there's a lot of like herky-jerky movement that is a thing cats do, I guess, but it's weird seeing on like an extremely, like the silhouettes are human.
Yeah, and they just needed to commit to like, we are people dressed as cats or we are cats all the way. And we were somewhere in the middle.
Should be a cat all the way.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, thank you, Andy Blankenbuehler, for your work.
Are you familiar with their oeuvre?
In the Heights, Hamilton. I mean,
okay,
this is a real loss for them. But I second and third homes to pay for.
More misses than hits. What can I say?
Yes. Yes. Correct.
So the choreography wasn't to your taste, either of you, for different reasons.
No, I was just saying that some of the choreography lent itself more to the movement of a cat than Cat School did.
Okay, I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
Cat School. Yes.
It is also,
I did not enjoy it, but at all.
Yeah.
Not true. I enjoyed it far less.
You liked the tap. The least cat-like number
Yes.
in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that cat he was solid.
I really loved
which was your favorite cat? Maybe is a good place to go.
well, I did a real like audible gasp at something about the magical Mr. Mistopheles of it all. That was really like
You were rooting for him.
yes, I was rooting for her to return, and she did.
Yeah.
Old Deuteronomy.
But when she was snatched,
Oh my
audible
god.
gasp.
Truly. Yeah. That's it. End of story. It got me.
Yeah. That was fair.
McCavity, Idris Elba. The sexy and beautiful Idris Elba.
Yeah.
In a full length like fur suit.
It's interesting. So it's like a Donald Duck situation where like, you know, like you can understand, okay, sometimes some characters have clothes, some don't. For some reason, a couple of them always have shoes, some don't. Yeah, like Donald Duck, he wears a shirt, but you don't think of him as pantsless because like, no, he just wears a shirt. It's whatever.
I have never thought of that.
Whereas Goofy, pants and a shirt, dog, Pluto dog, fully nude, doesn't talk.
Oh my god.
But
wow. Continue.
But all to say, so you understand, like in the context of the movie, some of them are wearing clothes, some aren't. The ones that aren't the whole time don't feel naked. Idris Elba is wearing a big hat and a trench coat the whole movie until he
Here's it all.
until he presents himself boisterously at the end of Taylor Swift's song. And he looks extremely nude and full Ken doll, just smooth as hell, and it's strange.
More misses than hits.
More misses than hits. He also has like his fur is all one color. Also,
Yes.
So there's no variation.
Just so many questions about that.
It didn't have to be like that.
It didn't. Did he have ears? Like, I don't
He
remember
had
him
smaller
having
ears?
Yeah. Okay.
It's weird.
Whoa.
They were easier to see when he was wearing a hat. When he loses
were.
a hat,
Oh,
you
right.
don't know where his
Yes.
ears go.
Yes.
No, because their ears are in weird places, or maybe where cats' ears are. I haven't referred to a genuine cat, you know, a documented cat since the film ended. But I don't remember what cats look like anymore.
Nope.
I was trying to remember size-wise, how long is a cat's tail generally?
Not as long as it was in that movie, but I think scale is way off.
Yeah. So that's
Across the board. Like truly Rebel Wilson, I was like, homegirl is a like 6 foot feline. And at other moments I was like, you are just as big as these cockroaches. You know, like anyway.
It's very inconsistent visually, the language of the movie. That's a thing that I primed also before we started. Is like the thing, like there's a bunch of gross stuff that happens, but what gives me vertigo is just the sense of scale is not consistent.
Did either of you have a favorite cat?
Well, Gus the theater cat, obviously.
It's pretty solid.
Really?
I mean, I don't think he deserved to die, but which is a good thing in the context of this movie. I don't think he earned his death in this one. Maybe next time. I think he's got to bring it a little bit more. I think he was relying on Mr. Mistopheles to really like hit the, you know, to hammer the ending there. And he's got to bring his own stuff next time.
He does.
Yeah.
I'll let him know.
Who do you think it makes sense for Grisabella to have won the competition? Or like, who would you have given it to?
Mr. Mistopheles.
Yes. He performs a miracle.
He like, you know, works for his supper.
Yeah.
And I think he deserves to ascend to death. But that's just me.
Yeah.
More so than anyone else, I think.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Who would you support or sentence?
Support or sentence. That's cute.
I feel like they didn't do Grisabella justice in the film as her story is explained on stage.
Yeah, she is very tertiary to the main action because they add so much plot that isn't related that then she has nothing to do with.
Can you fill in what some of us may not have
There's
seen?
more of like she's misunderstood storyline approach to it and the way the other characters interact with her as the show progresses that we lose on film.
That's so queer. I think there's something here. I think there's something here.
Could be.
And are we under the assumption that these cats have 9 lives? Like, is she going to die and then is she coming back? Like,
they don't really get into the 9 life stuff, or they do, but it's in part of the film that is unintelligible.
Okay.
When they're singing about all the rules for cats and their names and can you do X? Can you do X, Y, Z?
Yeah, the enunciation was a little long.
well, I watched. I still have my ears are still not back to. And I was like, "What? I need some subtitles."
We could have put subtitles on. Should we start it over?
No. But thank you. Did you have a favorite song?
I mean, we didn't really get into the Andrew Lloyd Webber of it too much. When I was growing up, my parents would just play music really loud in the house all the time. And one thing that was in heavy rotation was an Andrew Lloyd Webber compilation.
Wow.
That from this from this show included The Magical Mr. Mistopheles. And it's got a very strong hook.
Yeah, it's cute. It's like, oh.
Yeah, it's 80% hook.
Yeah.
And for a child, an earworm is an earworm. So that's probably the one that has always stuck with me the most. I don't know, when Jennifer Hudson really goes for it in memory, there's a reason memory is sort of the thing people care about from this show.
I didn't care for it.
It has a Wicked issue where a lot of the songs have like cutaways and like stop, start, and I don't know. She falls down for a while and then Victoria does like some stuff and we're like, we don't need you for this part.
The new music really kind of threw a wrench into that momentum. So
something about ghosts.
Yeah,
I
don't know.
It's not good. It feels, it is like lyrically, it sounds a lot more like a Taylor Swift song than an Andrew Lloyd Webber song.
Yeah.
Or a weird scrap of poetry written by T.S. Eliot, which is the rest of the lyrics. So.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of live for her being like a drug lord, like a kingpin, just like releasing all this catnip.
Yeah. And it's like, as the movie goes on, you realize that McCavity has like a whole network of allies.
Yeah, it's crazy that she's one of them, and it's crazy that she signed on to this movie.
She just loves cats, I guess, and probably like really, she's got big theater kid energy. I'm sure she appreciated cat camp.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just like movement exercises in acting class, except it's just pretend to be a cat for however long they were there, is my understanding.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Okay, wait, I'm looking at my notes here.
So if McCavity's broken every human law, which is the funniest that you can picture him breaking? Because that's a lyric that Taylor Swift sings. He's broken every human law. She cites gravity next, but I think like tax evasion would be funny.
Public indecency.
Yeah, fair enough.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Racketeering.
Insider trading.
Yeah.
Arbitrage.
Any white collar crimes are funniest. I agree.
He's got an offshore account. You know it.
Electric chair. Yes. It does.
He's capitalist.
I really, really did not enjoy the movie whatsoever. But I really do want to see Vogue Cats in New York. Like I really am. So I was like, wow, what a missed opportunity to see this show that extended 3 times.
Yeah, that was really well received.
And
We were talking about this lately because of Andre de Shields.
Yes.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
who was in it? Didn't he play Old Deuteronomy?
He did.
Can picture it.
Yes. Yes, I can. And I'm sure his hands were out.
Can picture it. Yeah.
Yeah.
What else? So we haven't talked about the full cast. We mentioned Rebel Wilson, Idris Elba. I don't know. Jason Derulo's in this one.
Oh, yeah. I would have recast him. I mean, I would have recast a lot of people, but
Is there a different cast that works?
He did a very different take on that character.
yeah.
He's a
I
curious
felt
cat.
like it was too far from everything else.
Yeah.
I would have put someone more kind of musical theater or sing-songy in that. I don't know who. Maybe Jordan Fisher.
Yeah.
But who's, I don't know what he's, Hamilton. He was, what's the show about Persephone? Hadestown. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be good.
Maybe him. But yeah, something about that. I was like, whoa. But I thought he was like a normal looking cat. Like he probably was the most normal looking cat to me. But we didn't see much of him.
Yeah, he has sort of like the fur coat mane kind of situation that is more reminiscent of the actual stage makeup.
Yeah, he's supposed to be more of like a smooth talker, bad boy kind of.
Yeah.
And I didn't get that vibe.
He's a bit of a player.
He just looked socially awkward.
Rum Tum Tugger.
He's a curious cat.
You know what that does to them.
Yeah.
Well, anyway.
Yeah. He's hot, he's cold. He's
Yeah.
Who else?
Well, we didn't really talk about James Corden.
I feel like we said all we need to say.
He's Bustafer
Horrible.
Jones.
Electric chair. I think
spats.
I think his costume designer did him dirty.
Electrical chair and spats. Yeah, the costume is it's a weird choice.
CGI.
Yeah.
CGI suit.
Yes. Right. It's still designed. Someone designed the
Someone
costume.
designed it.
Can't piss off animators.
Unless he was wearing like he had sort of the same form factor as Danny DeVito as Penguin in Batman Returns. But just taller. He's just very like he's wearing like a wire frame of like a ball shape, pretty much.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Like a minion?
More rotund, but yeah.
Okay.
It's Danny DeVito, so he's always kind of looking like a minion.
Yes. Okay. There's Jennifer Hudson.
That's true.
There's Ian McKellen. There's Judi Dench.
I guess we did cover a lot of folks already.
Yeah.
T Swift. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's one human at the beginning that throws Victoria in a bag just towards the
Yeah.
Oh,
the cats.
yeah.
Lucky for her, that night happened to be the night of the Jellicle Ball. That only happens once a year. But, yeah,
Wait, so one person dies a year.
I guess.
From this group.
Just of the Jellicle cats.
And they all want to die.
They'd love to.
That's so weird.
But only a few were like going for it. Everyone else is sort of just like, okay, I'm just here for the ball. But it's kind of like, okay, we know this year like who's in the running. It's like these 5 or 6 cats that are vying for death.
Work.
Yeah.
I
assume the people who are satisfied with their lives are just like, I'm cool just kicking it. I'll remain in my position for now. If things change, maybe I'll try to die next year.
And this is all from the brain of Andrew Lloyd Webber.
The poetry is T.S. Eliot.
But that's like...
It's not connected.
Right.
It's just like different weird poems he wrote about cats.
so strange.
Yeah.
Like the worst source material and the worst combination of source material and...
Yeah. And sensibility. When we're talking about Andrew Lloyd Webber. Which is big, 80s spectacle rock opera vibe.
Yeah. Well, yes, clearly I'm upset with the film. And I would not want to see it again.
No. Well, this was time number 4 for me.
I can't believe you are going to watch it 3 more times.
More than halfway done, life-wise, potentially.
It's just not a wow. Are you hoping for different perspectives from the other 3?
Absolutely.
Really?
So for me, I'm going to try and do something different every time. So you mentioned like, oh, I wondered like the making of. I'll watch some sort of documentary before the next episode if I have time.
Okay.
We'll see. Some of my friends will be inebriated.
Maybe we should have been.
Others will,
We'll know that.
They'll take it.
Put that in the vault for next time.
I have some friends that are going to come at it from like a body horror angle. I'll probably save this anecdote for the Corey, Noah, Robbie episode that's coming up that I'm going to record in a couple days. But one time we were high at their apartment that used to be on Toby Street. I'm cutting this out because this anecdote will go in that episode. And we, and I was like, have you guys seen Cats? It's crazy. And they're like, what? And I was like, you got to see this. So we were watching clips.
The things you do when you're high,
Yeah.
the things I do when I'm high are so different.
So you guys won't believe how fucked up this movie is. And they love horror. So I was like, let's watch like some clips of Cats. So we ended up watching like long clips that it was like, I don't remember this music. I do not remember this scene. It's cut like really long. It's like a long section without vocals or dialogue or anything. And I was like, I don't know what's going on. And we had watched about 20 minutes of like a super cut of Cats completely set to the score of Suspiria.
Whoa.
And it works pretty well.
Wait, I would totally watch that. I love that soundtrack. Wow.
It works pretty well.
Oh my God.
So yeah, it's Tom York's score from the 2017, 18, whatever, Suspiria.
That's fierce.
And it's, yeah.
Maybe that's the way in which we should watch Cats, is by just dubbing other scores on top of it and seeing what happens.
I think it'd be like full cacophonous nonsense, but I'm thinking of maybe figuring out, someone has done this on the internet, no doubt already, but figuring out a record to sync up and play at the same time, like, Dark Side of the Moon and Wizard of Oz.
Which is appropriate because she takes off in a hot air balloon chandelier at the end of the movie. So.
Yeah.
Whoa, that was
is-
good. Light bulb.
By the way, like there is certainly how many YouTubers have made a video about, oh my God, you won't believe what happens if you play Dark Side of the Moon to Wicked, but you just had to play it like 7 times, I guess. This film, however, I think we've sort of covered everything. We don't really have to on this show. We don't really go plot beat by plot beat on stuff.
But we didn't talk about
Mungo Jerry and Rumple Teaser that much.
Right. I really liked their number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was,
It's okay. They're like sort of on McCavity's side. They just
Yeah.
enjoy crime, but like they enjoy like victimless crime.
Yeah. They're just like,
They're like, we didn't know he was straight up like trying to murder our friend, old Doot.
old dude.
If I remember correctly, their number in the Broadway show is more like acro tricks with each other throughout the song.
They do that a couple times in the movie, but not that much.
Yeah.
But not enough to land. Like
Yeah.
I forgot that.
Yeah. Or not even really tricks. There's just like a couple times they show them dancing, I guess.
Yeah. This is more like
In any sort of playing off each other way.
They're just traveling from
Yeah.
a parkouring.
Yeah. And I think for me, like the Broadway set is the Broadway set. You're in the junkyard the whole time. You're not going in and out of kitchens and houses and parlors and
Yes.
ballrooms.
I would love to see the set. Like,
Oh, you can. You can watch that movie too.
It is
It is
available.
available.
So in that sense, you're saying that the most accurate to the source material is James Corden's number?
how unfortunate.
No, the opening number.
Oh,
that's-
yeah.
Yeah.
And there actually is like a junkyard,
Yeah, a
but also a
junkyard.
graveyard? Because they're
That
on
was new,
tombstones all of
too.
a sudden. Because it seems like a bunch of junk, but then they are on tombstones.
The junkyard scene is most accurate
Okay.
for sure.
Okay.
What a film.
So of the cats on, involved. What is the cat's equivalent of like fuck, marry, kill?
Oh God.
Because it's not that. It's not that. But it's like send to the Heaviside Lair, send to the barge in the River Thames, or I don't know. I don't know what the neutral option is. But okay.
Be a jellicle neighbor / friend.
Yes. Allow into the Jellicle Society.
Yes.
So if you could only pick one for each, I guess. We've already said like who we would have picked to go to the Heaviside Lair.
Yes.
Who was your pick, by the way?
Oh, I stood by Grisabella.
Okay.
Yeah. Because of the storyline.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Misunderstood.
I think for the Jellicle's future, they should probably just get rid of old Deuteronomy because, like, I don't know. I feel
That's
like
a coup. That's like
they need to just get some new, They need some new blood.
Maybe Robbie Fairchild is like waiting for her to croak over, and like waiting for his time and as the new old dude.
Yeah. She's not doing a lot to like prepare the next folks. It doesn't seem like what are you looking for? Like, how are you making this decision? Where is this magic coming from? Seemingly, Mr. Mistopheles only just learned how to do this kind of magic. So how are those other people floating into heaven?
That's crazy to me.
If we're doing this every year.
Someone I would send to hell or the place that's not the Heaviside Lair. What did we decide?
The barge on the
River Thames.
I'm sending Rum Tum Tugger as characterized.
What?
Yeah, as characterized in this version.
Oh, I'm sending James Corden. Oh, well.
We're sending James Corden. I forget where this comes from because it was years ago, but my sister and I reference it anytime James Corden comes up. There's a headline of an article about him that refers to him as cultural menace James Corden. So Google that and give it credit on your own time because I'm lazy. Yeah.
Forgot what his character
Bustopher Jones.
Hell no. Well, Bustopher Jones is going.
So the cat of St. James Street.
Bustopher
Jones. Yeah. He sucks. James Corden. Bustopher Jones, the character, is innocent, obviously.
Yes. Rebel Wilson is or
Jenny Any Dots.
Yes. And then I would save, New Girl on the Block.
Yeah.
Like she's like
she gets welcomed in at the end.
She's nice. She sticks up for Grisabella.
She's a bit impressionable, but she's young, I guess, is the vibe.
Ballet down.
Yeah.
I'm saving Skimble Shanks.
Yes.
Sure.
Oh, I forgot about the railway cat. I do love him.
He's great. You want to keep him around, though. I don't think you want to send him to the Heaviside Lair.
That's true.
He's like, why does he want to die? He seems to really enjoy his life.
Yeah, like he's the most. Well, I shouldn't say the most, but yes, I agree with you.
Everyone else has like some anxiety or something, but he seems to be a cat who really knows who he is.
Comes in, does the tap number.
Yeah.
Leaves.
Mm-hmm.
Is unfazed when he starts floating at the end of it.
Yeah.
But then he disappears and you're like, oh, I guess that wasn't supposed to happen.
Skimble Shanks.
Skimble Shanks.
Skimble.
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 Skimble Shanks.
Skimble Shanks.
The railway cat.
Get to bit the tongue.
Yeah. Every cat's name in this is like a vocal warm-up.
Yes. Do we know where they come from? Like what?
Just some random shit T.S. Eliot was on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Got it.
And, what was I going to say? Yes, barge-wise, to your point about Jason Derulo and Rum Tum Tugger, I guess McCavity, he never gets kidnapped, does he?
No,
he's just seen. Is his number not? It happens before Old Deuteronomy is there. However, Jenny Anydots is seen as being in the competition and gets kidnapped, and that happens earlier.
Yep.
Is he just seen as such a non-entity by McCavity?
Yeah. So I was like, we don't need him. He sings the song and he's done.
That's a good point. That's efficient.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, Jason Derulo. Rum Tum Tugger is a cute name.
Yeah.
It does give me womanizer though. Like if I were to hear the name, I know exactly who to expect.
Yeah.
That's why he's got like the spiky collar and the tufted. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He knows what's up.
He's popping a collar of his polo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for having us.
We're done.
Oh.
No, that's, I think you sensed the wrap up.
I have nothing else to add. I feel like I've shared all that I can share.
I think that is very fair. 2 jokes about Rum Tum Tugger. The Rum Tum Tugger is a regressive archetype. Would have been a funnier lyric. And then also Jason Derulo is falling down the stairs with the jellicle ball. It's the other joke, right? Oh, God. Twitter in 2019. How many times was that joke made? Oof. Probably 1 million. Okay, so on a scale of 0.5 to 5, on any scale of your choosing, going up by halves, on any scale of your choosing, aside from stars, because we can't do stars, what would you give Tom Hooper's 2019 colossal flop, Cats? And when I say any scale of your choosing, typically it is some sort of noun related to the film. So like, 5 out of 5 cats or something. But it should be, if it can be funnier, that's great.
I'm going to give it 2 paws up.
I'm going to give it 2 thumbs down. They don't got those. I really hated this film. And
you can give it less than 2 then.
0.5.
0.5 out of 5.
Out of 5.
Yeah.
Units.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was tough for me. But I left with knowing more about the musical theater canon.
That's true.
Which I think is important. Yeah. As someone who really hasn't seen a lot of like iconic musicals for someone who works in this field. And
this was a big blind spot.
I'm leaving more culturally enriched.
Yeah.
But it's a no for me. But it's really interesting. Like I feel like I needed to think about. I'm going to stop there.
Do you want to expand on your 2?
My 2 paws up.
2 out of 5 feels pretty high. I'm going to say
none of them had paws, so
that's a good
possibility.
point.
Right.
Yeah,
that's right. Yes. Boom.
So is that asterisk? It's actually 0 because there's no pause in this film.
That was good.
Thank you.
That was that whoop went over my head. But
that was pretty good. I'm sorry
nice.
We made you explain the joke because it was a good one. I'll go 1 out of 5 jellicle songs for jellicle cats. The question this month I haven't settled on yet, but every episode there's the same question at the end to tie them all together. Usually it's different movies. It won't be this month. Fair warning. So I think we can go in a few different ways. What are your second and third names? Could maybe be the question of the month. I was also considering asking every guest to try their best to define jellicle succinctly.
It's an acid trip.
It's a neighborhood. Like you're like a part of a.
Okay.
Like you pay your HOA fees and you're in.
There's dues. Yeah. There's dues.
There's dues.
There's dues. There's songs.
It's a way of life.
There's mottos.
It's yeah.
Yeah. If you're keen to be seen while you're sniffing a rat.
Whoa.
Maybe you're a jellicle cat.
I hated that.
That song is entirely constructed like Jeff Foxworthy, You Might Be a Redneck.
It's all just vibes.
How do you define jellicle? Not a dog.
This is a good point.
Good callback.
That is one of the worst moments of my life is I went to see this movie with Kate and her sister. Kate fell asleep most of the way through.
That's hilarious.
Woke up and was like, what I missed. And I was like, don't even try.
Hey, Kate.
And yeah, when it gets, in theaters, you don't have your phone to look at. You don't have your friends to make fun of the movie with. You're just in the dark with your thoughts and in a very dark place. And you're about 100 minutes into the movie and Judi Dench turns to the screen and tells you a cat is not a dog. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? This is our conclusion. And then the fact that all the other cats triumphantly echo a cat is not a dog. I forgot that part happens. And like, holy shit, it just feels like a mixture of hubris and rampant Britishness is just really a terrible combination. And history bears out that that's a terrible combination. And this is one of their greatest crimes.
On that note, I really did not enjoy the closing number.
Yeah, it just,
it just fell flat.
Plodding.
But
is that what closes it on stage?
I don't recall.
Because I guess it's sort of an excuse for the Judi Dench character to give something that feels like a summary of the events you've seen.
Yep.
But that doesn't feel like a triumphant close. And then it's gone on for so long, and then it cuts back, and Jennifer Hudson is still not above the clouds. Wow. It's like, yeah, still going.
She's still not above the clouds.
And then she fades into a big cat face in a cloud, and credits. Jellicle songs for Jellicle Cat.
I want to see where she goes.
There's only one way.
Oh my God. Yeah, I want someone to write that musical. Like Grisabella in
Cats
Wonderland.
Cats 2. Grisabella's return.
Yeah. She's got some she's
a
some
dog.
shit. She's a dog. She's seen some shit.
That's so funny.
Yeah. I hope it's like the end of what is it? Oh my God, I can't even think of the name of the movie. This is the end? The comedy? The last good James Franco movie, but Seth Rogen's there. And yeah.
I've never seen it. I'm sorry.
It's pretty good. It ends with they also go to the Heaviside Lair. Some of the characters make it.
Maybe you ask 4 questions this month since it's one movie.
Yeah.
And you ask 4 questions to each set of guests.
Okay.
That's a lot of questions to come up with. But didn't you say you were teetering between a couple?
Yeah. So I think this week at least, let's keep it maybe to 1 for each episode. This is a lot of brain work otherwise. I think defining Jellicle, like you said, it's an acid trip. I like that it's a neighborhood. It's sort of like a neighborhood association or an HOA.
Welcome to Jellicle.
Yeah, it's a planned community in Florida. Yes. Next to Sunshine. Jellicle. The real thing is it's like British, not slang necessarily, but a sort of bowdlerization of like Dear Little Jellicle.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
I like our answers better.
I agree.
Frankly, Acid Trip is really good.
Yeah.
All
right.
We should have been on. Had a few tabs before we watched this.
Yeah. All right. Well, that does it. Thank you to Josh and Mimi for joining for the first episode of Catshog Month. I hope you had a good time your first time on the podcast.
I had a great time on the podcast. I wish I could say the same about the film.
Yeah, we're ending the night on a high note at least.
It's an honor to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just glad they didn't go with a hairless cat. So.
Oh, yes.
He should have.
Yeah, out of all of the cat variations that we saw, we did not see a hairless. Yes.
Tilda Swinton would have been a hairless.
Oh, yes. She would have been. Yes. Woof.
You can find ours.
No dogs.
Oh, right.
Meow.
Yeah.
Emphasis on ow. You can find our stuff on Linktree, linktr.ee/late to the movies. Tune in next week for, it says here, 2019's Cats. Let's catch you then.
Goodbye.
Bye. Just waving from the hot air chandelier floating above the clouds.